All right, so Lil Durk's arrest, huh? Want the real deal on this whole thing?
Yeah, it's a lot more than just another celebrity getting busted.
Oh, absolutely. We're talking Grammy winner, top of his game. And now he's facing a charge, conspiracy to commit murder for hire. I mean, come on, that's about as serious as it gets.
And the motive,
What else? Revenge.
straight out of a rap song almost.
Right. We're talking years of beef between rap groups, a death that started it all, and then accusations flying every which way. So strap in because this deep dive is going to be a wild ride.
To understand how we got here, we got to rewind a bit, back to 2020, the King Von connection.
Now, King Von, for those who don't know, he was a rising star, close to Lil Durk, part of his crew, only the family, OTF.
These collectives, they're like tight-knit groups within the rap scene, collaborating on music, supporting each other.
Right, like a family, almost.
Exactly. And tragically, November 2020, King Von gets shot outside a nightclub in Atlanta.
Man, what a loss.
The authorities believe the shooter was linked to another rapper, Quando Rondo, and that's what sparked this whole rivalry with Lil Durk.
Can you imagine losing someone like that? Close friend. In such a violent way.
It's devastating. And the FBI saying Lil Durk, fueled by grief, publicly vowed to get revenge, even put a bounty on Quando Rondo's head.
So that sets the stage, but then things escalate, right?
Fast forward to August 2022, almost 2 years after King Von's death. The FBI alleges Lil Durk's associates, acting on his orders, started tracking Quando Rondo in L.A.
They were following him around.
From a marijuana dispensary to a clothing store and finally to a gas station right across from the Beverly Center.
Hold on, they followed him to a dispensary.
Apparently, and the details get even crazier.
What, like they were staking him out wearing trench coats and sunglasses?
Not quite, but the FBI claims Lil Durk financed the whole thing. Flights from Chicago to L.A., rental cars, even weapons. One of them was modified into a machine gun.
Wow.
They even bought ski masks, the whole 9 yards.
Like something out of a movie, except it's real life, with real consequences.
Absolutely. And tragically, the shooting at that gas station, it wasn't just aimed at Quando Rondo.
Others got caught in the crossfire.
Savia Robinson, Quando Rondo's cousin, she was killed. Rondo himself, he got away.
Man, that's heavy. An innocent life lost.
It's a stark reminder that these actions, if true, they ripple outwards.
Yeah. So what happens next?
The legal hammer drops. Lil Durk, along with 5 other members of OTF, they get hit with charges. Conspiracy to commit murder for hire.
And that's life in prison potentially, right?
That's right. The FBI is claiming Lil Durk was the mastermind, directing his associates to take out Quando Rondo for payment.
Wow. And then to top it off, they say he tried to flee the country.
The FBI claims that Lil Durk, knowing they were closing in, tried to make a run for it, to Europe. They caught him in Florida before he could get away.
Talk about a plot twist.
To really grasp what's going on here, we need to talk about Lil Durk and King Von's background, the world of drill music.
Right, drill music. It's a type of hip-hop, raw, gritty. Comes straight from the streets of Chicago.
It reflects a certain reality, the harsh side of life in those communities.
So it's authentic, but
But there's a lot of controversy around it. The violent themes, the focus on gang culture, street conflicts.
does it glorify violence or just reflect it? That's the big question.
And this case throws that whole debate into overdrive.
Here's a Grammy-winning artist, someone giving back to his community, accused of a crime that sounds like it's straight out of a drill song.
It's a lot to unpack. Is this art imitating life or the other way around?
Makes you wonder. But there's even more to this story.
Oh yeah, this case exposes some serious contradictions in Lil Durk's image. Just months before his arrest, Grammy win, working with Drake, J. Cole, he was on top of the world.
And he had that foundation, right? Neighborhood heroes.
Right, mentoring youth, community development. He even got honorary keys to Bellwood and Broadview. Those villages were impressed by his work.
Talk about a success story, right? And then, boom, these charges hit.
And those same villages, they backpedal, withdraw their support, take back those honors.
Image is everything, they say. And it can disappear in a flash.
It really shows how fragile reputation can be, especially when someone's accused of something so serious despite their past good deeds.
So what do you think? Can someone truly change their life, even with these kinds of accusations hanging over them?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And it's one we'll keep exploring as we dive deeper into this case.
I mean, think about it. Just a few months before all this went down, Lil Durk was winning a Grammy. Best melodic rap performance, no less. Working with Drake, J. Cole, The biggest names out there.
Yeah, it's a pretty stark contrast to where he is now, fighting these charges, could end up spending the rest of his life behind bars.
Talk about a fall from grace. And the irony is he was getting all this praise for his charity work. Neighborhood heroes, remember?
Yeah, mentoring kids, helping the community. Those villages, Bellwood and Broadview, they even gave him honorary keys. They were impressed, clearly.
And now they're distancing themselves, took back those keys, withdrew their support.
It's like as soon as those charges came out, everything changed. Shows you how quickly public opinion can shift. One minute you're a hero, the next.
Yeah, it's a reminder that reputation is a fragile thing.
Especially when you're accused of something this serious. Doesn't matter what you did before, it all gets overshadowed.
It's like a Shakespearean tragedy or something. The rise and fall. So what happens now? What does this mean for Lil Durk, his career, his whole life?
Well, first things first, innocent until proven guilty.
Of course, of course.
But even if he beats these charges, the damage might already be done. It's hard to come back from something like this. Public opinion can be brutal.
Yeah, this isn't just a slap on the wrist. We're talking serious accusations. Murder for hire, I mean.
It's a long road ahead for him, that's for sure. And it makes you think about other artists who face legal trouble.
Right. Some come back stronger, some just disappear.
It all depends, the specifics of the case, how they handle it, the public's reaction, and the music industry is a whole different beast.
Yeah, the fans, the media, it's all so unpredictable.
Definitely. In this case, it's got everyone talking. But beyond the gossip, there's something bigger here. We talked about drill music, that whole debate. This case brings it right to the forefront.
I think it'll have a lasting impact on the genre.
Hard to say. Some people will see this and think, see, drill music is all about violence. It leads to real-life crime.
Yeah, that old argument, art imitating life, or is it the other way around?
Right, and it's never that simple. Drill music, it reflects a certain reality, but does that mean it causes violence?
It's a form of expression, right? A way to process experiences, tell stories.
Exactly. And music, like any art, it can be interpreted in different ways. What one person sees as glorifying violence, another might see as social commentary. Or a cry for help, even.
So you're saying we shouldn't just shut down a whole genre because of its content?
Exactly. It's about having these conversations, looking at things from different angles, and not just blaming the music for complex social problems.
Right, it's like treating the symptom, not the disease.
Yeah.
But this case does make you think about the responsibility of artists, especially those with a big following.
Yeah, do they have a duty to think about the impact of their work, even if it's unintentional?
And not just the artists, what about us, the listeners? Do we have a responsibility too?
I think so. To engage with art critically, to think about the message, the context, and to remember it's just one perspective.
Right, be informed, be aware, and don't just take things at face value. So what about these themes of loyalty and revenge? They're all over drill music, but they're also real-life forces, right?
Absolutely. We see it everywhere. Gang rivalries, personal feuds, this code of conduct where loyalty is everything and revenge is seen as justice.
It's like an ancient Greek tragedy playing out in the modern world. This cycle of violence, fueled by these powerful emotions.
In this case, it's a tragic example of how destructive that cycle can be.
For everyone involved.
It's a reminder that actions have consequences. Even if you feel justified, revenge can lead to a lot of pain. And this case also raises the question of accountability.
If Lil Durk's found guilty, it sends a message, right?
Yeah.
Fame and fortune don't protect you from the law.
Exactly. But what if he's found not guilty? Does that create a double standard, like celebrities are above the law?
It's a valid concern. This case could really spark some debate about justice, fairness, the whole system.
No doubt about it. It's a tangled web, this whole situation. Music, violence, loyalty, revenge, fame, accountability. It's a lot to process.
And it's not over yet. What do you think? Where does this all go from here for Lil Durk? Legally, personally, everything.
Well, legally, we just have to wait and see how the case progresses. The charges are serious. The evidence will be key.
And personally, how do you even cope with something like this?
It's hard to imagine. Facing a potential life sentence, the public scrutiny, the emotional toll, it's got to be incredibly difficult.
And what about the people around him? His family, friends, his community?
They're all affected too. The human cost of this case, it's immeasurable. Lives lost, families grieving, communities dealing with the fallout.
It's a reminder that this isn't just a legal case. It's real people's lives.
Absolutely. And as we wrap up this part of the deep dive, it's important to remember this story is still unfolding.
We don't have all the answers yet.
Right. But we can use this time to reflect on the bigger picture, the issues of violence, inequality, the power of fame, the complexities of justice.
This case is like a microcosm of these larger societal challenges.
It's a chance for us to have these important conversations to think about how we can make a difference.
It's tough to wrap my head around it. On one hand, you've got Lil Durk, the philanthropist, Grammy winner. But then these accusations, it's like two totally different versions of the same guy.
Yeah, it really makes you think about human nature,
Oh,
right?
totally.
We always try to put people in boxes, good or bad, but this case, it shows it's not that simple. People are complicated, they can do good things and mess up big time.
It's almost like a Greek tragedy or something. Talented artist driven by loyalty, wanting revenge, and it all leads to these terrible consequences.
And it makes you ask, what is justice, really? What's the right punishment for someone who's done wrong but also done good? Can you even balance those things out?
I don't know. No easy answers there. But I do think this whole situation, it could lead to some important conversations about art, about music, especially when it touches on violence, social issues, that kind of stuff.
Absolutely. Some people will say drill music is the problem. It glorifies violence. It makes things worse.
Right.
But others will argue it's just a reflection of reality, the struggles that young people face in certain communities.
So how do we deal with that? How do we recognize the power of music, especially for younger generations, without trying to censor it, shut it down?
I think it boils down to responsibility. Artists need to think about the impact of their work, even if they don't mean any harm. And us listeners, we got to engage with it critically, think about what it means, where it comes
Don't
from.
just take it at face value.
Right. It's about being informed, being aware, and recognizing that there are always multiple sides to every story.
And that's what we've tried to do here today, right? Present all the different angles, get people thinking.
Exactly. It's not about judging, it's about understanding. Understanding the complexity of this case, the people involved, the bigger issues at play.
Music, violence, loyalty, revenge, justice. It's a lot to take in.
It is. And it's not over yet. This case is still ongoing. There's more to come. But whatever happens, this story has already got people talking, asking tough questions.
About ourselves, about the society, about the choices we make.
And that's what's important. Keeping those conversations going, even when they're uncomfortable.
Well said. And to everyone listening, we hope this deep dive has given you some food for thought. Keep those minds open, keep those conversations going.
And we'll see you next time on The Deep Dive.